Tofu, Awara, is mostly eaten in the northern part of Nigeria and northern part of Ghana. Is a plant-based cuisine and it's an alternative to meat for vegetarians. This is soya beans. This is the plant base. Now we are going to clean the soya beans because it comes with stones and dirt sometimes. So we began by picking the soya beans, then washing the soya beans. You want to wash it properly, at least wash it like 3 times. This is to simplify how to make awara, tofu, at home for people since many people find it difficult. So I thought we should make it in a professional and yet easy and simple way so that everyone will understand how to make tofu. So this is the process. We are going to be using firewood for this method. You don't want to use gas, you don't want to use charcoal, you want to look for woods and then light them up. This is what we will be using. Tofu awara is not hard to make, but it's kind of complicated. There are steps you don't want to miss because if you miss those steps, you're on your own. Now my hand is washed very clean. My hands are properly washed. Before someone will come and tell me, why didn't you wash your hand? Madam, auntie, uncle, if you're not the type that likes seeing videos where we use our clean bare hands to make something, please move aside. So now we've washed the soya beans, then grinded the soya beans. After grinding the soya beans, now this is the process we are making. We start by adding some of the grinded soya beans into a large bowl, then add water. We have to break down the lumps it came with. You can see there are lumpy. Those lumps are still the soya beans you don't want to leave like that. So to stop the soya beans from foaming, when you put it on the heat, we drizzle a little bit of palm oil. The palm oil will stop it from foaming and pouring up. So at some point after adding the first batch, we added the second batch of the grinded soya beans. And now I'm breaking the lumps. I'm breaking everything. It has to be broken. Even if not everything, make sure you break it very well. So the palm oil we added before wasn't enough. Don't forget my hands are properly washed. This is a large quantity, so it's not something I would use hand gloves for, and hand gloves has a place it stops. So now I'm still breaking down those lumps before we will use a cheesecloth to sift out the shaft. It is not a one man's job. You need to have at least 2 people to hold, to pour, to like. It's a process you can't do alone if you're doing a large batch. So put in mind that when you're making awara, tofu, you want to make sure you have someone around to help you, because honestly speaking, 3 of us did this, but man, it wasn't like a simple work to do. So please keep your eyes closed and understand what is going on here. Our hands are very washed and clean. You can see we are working with water. So instead of pouring water inside your shaft, you want to just wash it this way. It saves you a whole lot of water, because you keep adding water, it keeps collecting the water and still bringing out milk. So after we've done the first sifting, we did the second sifting. The first sifting, I showed you how we removed the shaft, right? And this is also the second one. You want to make sure you remove the shaft completely. After you've done that, you wash the cheesecloth, because of course there will be some shaft left in the cheesecloth, so you want to be washing and as you go. So this is the second or third time we are sifting. We don't want to have any sign of shaft inside our soya beans milk. This is the milk that will be converted into the cheese. This has the same process with making cheese. When you're making cheese, like animal milk, cheese, this is how you do it. But for now, let's concentrate on making our tofu, our awara. After sifting everything, we placed it on the heat. Now, this is the sour water we're going to be using. You must have um, water from pap. You see this pap water instead of using vinegar, because those things can be very sour and they will change the taste. So this is pap water we are using, and we are using some kind of control. We did not add all the water, the sour water at once. We kept adding it little by little till we are sure the tofu cheese is now separated from the water. You know your tofu is ready when it separates from the water. At this point, it has separated. What you need to do is to start scooping out your tofu to separate the water from the tofu cheese. Our is kind of a delicate something, or not complicated but a little bit delicate. Stage by stage you go to gives you a different texture. It depends on the texture you want and the texture you're looking for. We're still adding the sour water, which happens to be pap water, ruang kamu. So now that it has separated, you can see clearly that your tofu cheese has been separated from the water. The color will change. It will now turn to a very light green water. Meanwhile, the tofu would be cheesy like. If it gets to this point, the next thing you want to start doing is to pack out the cheese. With a clean cheesecloth, you place it back into the large bowl that you used to sift out the shaft. Then you place in your cheesecloth into the bowl and you begin to scoop out the tofu. You begin to scoop out the tofu cheese. Now you're separating the water from the cheese itself. That is it. It is a process which you don't want to skip any. You want to follow this process step by step. You see, this is a stage where you don't want to. Normally, you think, okay, why don't we just carry the pot and turn everything together? But no, that's not what we are looking for. All we want is the cheese is already on top. So we want to just scoop out the soya beans cheese, and you want to do this gently, because if you rush it, you're going to break the already formed tofu that looks like a cheese that you're waiting for the water to drain, because every work depends on this last part. This particular part is where if you don't get it right, you spoil your your tofu. Your awara gets bad from this particular point. So now, after removing the cheese of tofu out of its water, you've separated the soya beans cheese from the water. Now what you need to do is get a clean place where there is a tree or a hanger that can hold what you're doing. Then hang it. Allow it to drain for about an hour or thereabout, and this is what you will get. This is what you will have. This is the beauty of the work you have done. Come closer and look at what I have here. You know, when you make our tofu, it begins to scatter. That is because you did something to it. Once it's on that particular stage of removing the cheese from the water, the tofu cheese from the water, you don't want to tamper with it. All you want to do is tie it and place on a tray. And when you tie it, Do not put stone on it, because I see some people put stone on it to help them remove the excess water. It makes it hard if you go through that process. This awara came out very soft and fluffy. You need to, I just don't want to exaggerate too much, because there's no need for exaggeration. I'm not exaggerating here, I'm not even capping. This is one of the best awara I've made in a very long while. I purposely call an business person who makes awara every day of her life to come. Let's do this work together with. Who else can you work with aside from that person that has years of experience in making something? You can go wrong with that. So after cutting the tofu to my sizes and shapes I wanted, now this is going to be the seasoning. You know we didn't add anything, and it's going to be bald if we don't add anything. So I added in 3 Maggi cubes and a pinch of salt. I added in a pinch of MSG. Now I turn on the heat, then place my frying pan on the heat and allow the oil on medium heat. Now on the other hand, the tofu awara that I have cut to my preferred size and shapes are what I am going to be using inside this seasoned water. Remember, we had salt, we have seasoning cube, and we have a bit of MSG in it. So now I want the awara to soak the seasoning water. I'll set it aside for when the oil is hot to the point where I can put the awara. You see how I kept flipping it? Then I'll start putting the awara. You see, even before going into the oil, I kept flipping and flipping so that it will be well coated. Now this part is very simple. The crucial part is the part of the grinding, the sifting, the boiling, that's where the crucial part is. So now as it is, we are just simply frying our, the way you fry anything you want to fry. And you don't want to fry it too much so it doesn't give you a burnt awara. The other day I was looking at someone making awara, and the awara was so burnt and was so strong. Tofu can be a meat alternative, not just for vegetarians, but for anyone. You can put this inside your rice, your stew, like you can do a whole lot with this tofu. You can eat it with bread, anything you can think of that can go with meat. You can use awara as the alternative. As someone who was born and raised in Kano, my sister, I know how to make awara. It's not like I just saw awara on the streets and began to know. I when I like something, like I really like awara. So when I like something, I take my time to study that thing and to understand the process, the do's and the don'ts of it. In this video, if you have watched it till this part, I have shown you what to do and what not to do. I've shown you the process. I broke it down in pieces for you. You've seen it. So I think now we have solved the problem of making our. The one thing you need to do is make sure you have calm water, tap water, because it's not that bad in sour taste, so it is more accommodating to form our for you instead of our vinegar. I've used vinegar before, and vinegar tends to bring out the sour taste of vinegar inside the awara, but akamu will not do that. So now this is going to be the sauce I'm going to be using to coat my awara. I will show you different methods of making awara, but for the purpose of this video, we are going to be using a peppered sauce awara. So I just placed my cast iron pan on the heat, added in the oil I used for frying the awara to give me the same taste, added in some onions to saute, then added in pepper, then went in with some seasoning cube, and then added in the remaining onions. I don't want the onions to be too soft. You don't also want your onions to be soft. You want them to be crunchy. So now that that is done, this is the process of making the peppered awara, peppered tofu. Peppered tofu is something that everyone likes. People want to make it, but they find it difficult in making it. I hope this video is helpful to someone out there who has been wanting to learn how to make tofu from the scratch but has not gotten a comprehensive video, because I call this a comprehensive video. Even in the editing, I tried my possible best not to remove so much information, because I see how people cut so much information when trying to choose. And voila, our tofu is ready. If you have watched this far, please leave a like, comment, and share this video. Someone out there may be needing it to make a business or to start a business. And if you are liking what I'm doing, remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me so that I can give you more and more insight on how to make a whole lot